Hi, I'm Maddie. Welcome to or back to my channel, and for today's video I am doing the coveted college decision reveal with cupcakes video. I have been so excited to make this video. I've been wanting to make it since freshman year because, like a lot of people, I'm obsessed with watching college decision videos, college decision reactions, college stats, just all sorts of college related videos. So I am so excited to finally be able to make this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on with the video. So as you can see, I applied to quite a few schools. There are 12 in total. I'm going to run through them really quickly, and they are in no particular order. Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, the University of Washington, Virginia Tech, the University of Miami, the University of Virginia, Ohio State University, Clemson University, the University of Southern California, the University of Texas at Austin, Penn State, the University of Colorado at Boulder, and UNC Charlotte. Those are the 12 that I applied to. They might seem a little odd and all over the place. They definitely are. These schools are ones that I selected based off what I wanted to study, which is architecture. I'm not really going to go into any more depth about that. Let's just get into eliminating some schools. So out of the 12 I applied to, I was rejected from one school, so obviously they had to go first, and that is the University of Southern California. So USC was one of my top 2 picks, so I was very sad that I didn't get in there, but it was also the toughest school that I applied to. So if that was my one rejection, I guess it's alright, because like I said, it was definitely the hardest one to get into and to reach school for me. However, about a week and a half before they sent out decisions, I had decided that if I got in there, that's where I was going to go. But that didn't work out. The next school that I eliminated was UNC Charlotte. This is nothing against the school, but I decided that if I got in anywhere else, I was going to be going anywhere besides UNC Charlotte. I have a lot of friends from my high school that are going to UNC Charlotte, and if you want to study architecture or engineering, it's a great program. However, I just really didn't like the campus. It was very modern and didn't really have any tradition to it. And I was really looking for a college that would provide the traditional experience. Also, I knew that I wanted to go a little bit further away from home because this is very close to my house, and actually on the tour I saw someone from my high school who goes there, and that just really told me I did not want to go there, because I did not want it to be like my high school all over again. The next school that I eliminated was the University of Washington. So the University of Washington is a fantastic school. However, I did not get into my major of choice, architecture. They actually listed me as pre-architecture because I didn't meet the prerequisites. I'm chalking that up to me living on the East Coast and then being a West Coast school, so maybe some of the classes that I would have had if I went to high school on the West Coast I didn't get. But I really didn't want to go somewhere where I was going to have to take a lot of classes before I got into my major. Plus, I really wasn't that wild about Washington and almost didn't even apply there because it's in Seattle where it's gray and rainy all the time, and that's just not my vibe. I'm someone that gets my energy from the sun, so I didn't want to be somewhere where the sun just doesn't shine very much. But again, the University of Washington is an outstanding academic institution, and I honestly didn't think that I would even get in. And I was even able to get a small scholarship from them, which is so weird. I didn't get my major, but I got a small academic scholarship, which makes no sense to me, but hey, I'll take it. The next school that I eliminated was Virginia Tech. So Virginia Tech is also super close to where I live, and quite honestly, Blacksburg reminds me too much of my hometown. Their downtown is one road. Their main activities are hiking and outdoorsy stuff, which, don't get me wrong, all of that is fun, but I was really looking to go somewhere where there was a lot more to do and it didn't remind me of my hometown. Virginia Tech's architecture program is a great program, and I am very honored that I got in, again with another small scholarship. But in the end, it just was not going to provide the experience that I was looking for, so there is no point in keeping it on any longer. Alrighty, I'm going to move these up now that we have a few eliminated. The next school that I decided to eliminate was Clemson University. So Clemson overall has pretty solid academics, a solid architecture program, not like super far up in the rankings, but definitely respectable. They have the big time sports and traditional college experience that I am looking for. However, I just didn't really feel like the type of people at Clemson were the type of people that I could really see myself bonding with and forming friendships. And I know this because I did a week-long camp at Clemson University for architecture, and I really enjoyed working with the professors and the spaces and all of that, but the people in the camp just really didn't strike me as my type of people. And I think that's really important when you're considering where you want to go, is making sure that the people that go to that institution are people that you could really see yourself becoming friends with and forming relationships with. If you can't see that, I would say it's probably not the right school for you, and that is ultimately why Clemson had to come off. The next school that I eliminated was the University of Colorado at Boulder. So Colorado Boulder was kind of a last minute ad for me. The summer before I started applying, so summer 2020, I was really freaking out because I didn't have a lot of safety or mid-range schools that I was excited about. The only schools that I was super excited about were reach schools for me, and I definitely wanted some more safety and mid-ranges that I could get excited about, and I came across Colorado Boulder. CU Boulder has pretty solid academics and a pretty solid architecture program. However, as I started getting into better schools and better architecture programs, it didn't make sense to keep them on because their out-of-state tuition is on the pricier side of the schools that I applied to. And even though I got a small academic scholarship from them, it really wasn't going to be enough to make a difference. And ultimately, their lack of academic caliber combined with high tuition was why they had to come off. Alright, now I have it down to my top 6 schools. So the top half, these were the ones that made the cut. We still have Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, the University of Miami, the University of Virginia, the Ohio State University, the University of Texas at Austin, and Penn State. The next school that had to come off was actually Penn State. So Penn State has a phenomenal architecture program, a really good academics, definitely the traditional college experience. But what it came down to for me was that Penn State is in a very cold area. Alright, State College gets so cold in the winter. And again, while their architecture program is good, I got into better programs and I didn't get any kind of scholarships or financial aid from them. And quite frankly, I was just kind of like somewhat interested in them when I applied, but it was never a school where I really envisioned myself going. So all of that to say, they quickly trended towards the bottom of my list. The next school to come off was the University of Texas at Austin, because they did not give me any kind of financial aid either. The academics at UTA are absolutely amazing though. They are a very highly ranked institution as a whole, and their architecture program is top 15, so super high caliber. And again, I did not think that I would ever get into this school, so I really didn't research UT Austin very much. And in retrospect, I'm kind of glad that I did, because it's very heartbreaking to work so hard to get into a school and get really excited about it just to find out that it is so expensive. I definitely had that experience on multiple occasions. So I was kind of hoping that I would get a good financial package from them, because their School of Architecture has lots of different recruitment scholarships that they offer, but I was not offered one, so it would have been full price. And yeah, that is the main reason they came off. Keep feeling the need to like somewhat center these, even though they're probably not centered on camera. But the next school that came off was the Ohio State University. So honestly, I loved OSU's campus a lot more than I thought I would whenever I got to go there last month. And obviously their sports are amazing. The traditional college experience is unmatched for sure. But out of my top 4, they had the weakest ranked architecture program, but it's still very good. And it was also going to be pretty expensive. I did not get any scholarships or financial aid from them. This one was pretty hard for me to take off just because I have always pulled for Ohio State in football, and I was like, it would be so awesome to be able to like be a Buckeye fan, but I knew I needed to think realistically, and education is the main reason you're going there more so than the experience. So they had to come off, but this was a very hard one. Once I got down to this point, my top 4, it was so so hard for me to narrow it down. Okay, we've made it to the top 3, which is where I once again hit a multi-week roadblock in narrowing it down anymore. So this is normally the point where somebody takes out one more before they start going through the complete pros and cons of their top 2 schools. But I'm going to go ahead and do that for my top 3. First up, we have Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, which on the surface, a lot of people are probably like, how the heck did they make it into your top 3 when you have all of these other better schools that you got into? And quite frankly, it's because their architecture program is so good. If you look at design intelligence rankings, they are consistently ranked like number 1 in every single category, which is amazing. And they have so many different majors and minors under their School of Architecture, which is something really important to me because I want to be able to explore different things within design and not just architecture, because I don't even know if architecture is 100% what I want to do. Also, their location is the best out of my top 3. San Luis Obispo, California is absolutely stunning. I was in love with it from the moment we drove into it, and I'm so excited to be going back there on my road trip this summer. Just San Luis Obispo is beautiful. The main cons for Cal Poly were the fact that if I switched out of their School of Architecture, any other degree from them isn't going to be as well respected as the other 2 schools that I was considering. And also, sporting events like football and basketball just aren't a big presence on campus. They have them, they're horrible at them, and the students don't really care about it. Moving on to the University of Miami, the main pro for them was I got an outstanding scholarship from them that actually covered full tuition for me, so they were definitely going to be the cheapest option. And I honestly liked the campus a lot and the location was great. Some big cons for me were the fact that their School of Architecture only offers architecture, so I really wouldn't be able to study anything else that I was looking to study. And I also wasn't sure that the type of people that go to Miami were my people. I know that partying is a thing at every single school, but they seem like the type of people where they prioritize going to a party over studying, and that just really isn't my vibe. Then finally, we have the University of Virginia. So some main pros for UVA is the fact that out of my top 3, they have the highest ranked architecture program, the highest ranked overall university, so the caliber of the academics are unmatched. They also have big time sports, and the students definitely care about it, so you're getting that traditional experience. Some cons is that UVA is pretty close to where I live, so it wasn't going to be a completely new cultural experience, which is something I think is really important to get while you're in college. And also another con for UVA is the fact that it is so expensive. However, they do offer 100% financial aid, which is good. Now that I have fully disclosed my full pros and cons for each of the schools, the next one that was eliminated for me was the University of Miami. So I took them out because I would not be able to study anything else besides architecture at Miami. And even though the scholarship was great, I really did not want to feel boxed into just architecture, because even part of my scholarship was contingent upon me being an architecture major. Alright, so now we have it down to the top 2. And the next school I took out was Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. So I decided to take out Cal Poly and go to UVA because at Cal Poly I also didn't want to feel boxed into sticking with a design major, because I knew if I wanted to transfer out to something like business that it wasn't going to be as good of a degree as if I did that at UVA. And this was a really hard decision for me. I was basically choosing between a university with super high caliber academics, which was something that really pushed me in high school, or getting the California experience, which was also something that pushed me really hard in high school. But in the end, UVA just made the most sense because it had everything that I was looking for in a university, and I actually got to go back up for a second visit a while ago, and I was just kind of reminded at how amazing of an institution it is, and the fact that even though it is the closest out of the top 3 to home, it's still going to be a different enough experience for me and be far enough away to where I don't feel like I have to come back to my hometown all of the time. So I am very happy with my decision to attend UVA, and I am looking forward to making a lot of UVA related content. So yeah, I hope that this video was helpful, fun to watch, all of the above. I know that I enjoyed watching these so that way I could see what people factored into their decisions and stuff like that. So if this video helped you in any way, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below where you go to school or where you want to go to school at. And while you're down there, be sure that you're subscribed and have the bell turned on. That way you can be notified every single time I either upload a new video or go live. All those things really do help my channel grow, and I'd appreciate it so much. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast.
It's not about personality matrixels and charts. It's all about the bumps in your heart.